All right, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the 2020-2021 season that I had, which is the last season. It's because we're jumping into the 2021-2022 season. What? Anyways, we're going to be talking about last season, what was going on with that. I said that we were going to talk about that. Let's get it. So, last season was probably one of my best seasons ever, and I got so little footage. It sucks, but you know what? I had a great season. I'm gonna film this next season. It's gonna be awesome. Everything that I want, right? Last season, before it started, I, during the summer, had started following Mobility Duo, these guys right here. And they are kind of the main inspiration of how I approached this last season, in the way that they're all about like mobility and like strength training and like getting everything dialed in. So before I actually got into that season, I went ahead and I started following their content and started getting used to all their stuff that they were doing. And that really dialed me in for the next season I was going into. And they did this awesome thing at the very last 2 weeks before this season had started, called the 2-week shred program. And it's a program where it was all about strengthening your joints and like all these strength training bits, and then flexibility training as well, you know, stretching, a little bit of yoga stuff going on. And I'll be honest, I was not too excited about the yoga stuff, and I was definitely excited about the strength training stuff. And I actually reversed those roles. I was really excited every time I got to stretch and do yoga, and I was very not thrilled when I got to do the strength training stuff. I did it all anyways. But yeah, I went into that 2-week shred program, and I completed it, and I wanted to let them know, like, before I had gone into it, I'm like, I want to start a YouTube channel, and to start off, I want to do a review of your guys' 2-week shred program. This being a year later is kind of unfortunate, but we're here now. Nothing I can do about that. Can't go back in time and stop me from being lazy, so here we are. Yeah, I did that 2-week shred program. I completed it all the way through, and it absolutely set me up for an amazing pre-season of snowboarding. As soon as I was able to get on the hill, it helped me build up my strength and the stamina that I needed for the snowboarding aspect of, you know, life up there. Obviously, you know, getting adjusted to the altitude, getting adjusted to, you know, work conditions up there. You know, the cold is always kind of rough to get used to at the very beginning. Yeah, that definitely helped out a lot, just to not worry too much about getting ready for snowboarding. And I remember there's one part of my preseason where I was riding with a couple guys, and we were going, everything was fine. And then I took a slam, and my body got all twisted up. And I got back up, and I'm pretty sure I can say this very confidently that I would have gotten probably pretty injured had it not been for all the stretching and like strength training that I've been doing with the 2-week program. So, man, just a huge shout out to Mobility Duo for that program. Absolute legends. Absolute mobility legends over there. But yeah, I had an amazing idea. I had an epiphany. I'm going to make this season just solely based around something. And that was before I went into the 2-week shred program. And I was like, it's going to be the season to send. I'm just going to send it. Every time I go up to a jump, I'm going to send it. Every time I hit that rail, I'm going to send it. Every time I go into a class to teach, I'm going to send it. And no, I didn't do that. Instead, I made it the season of recovery. And I focused all kinds of stuff on recovery. Foam roller, yoga mat. I was stretching. I was, getting after it. Every morning I'm waking up, I'm doing some sort of stretching. Maybe not at home. Maybe I got to the hill and after sleeping a little bit too long, and I did some stretching. And I say that helped out so much. Like, I can maybe count the times I was sore on one or two hands. But I was definitely not sore that much throughout the entire season. I was stretching all the time. I guess the only times that I was really sore was when I got like into a slam or something like that. Like fall on my back, and my back would be like, this bruise. But that was it. That was it. And it was absolutely insane how much that was like helpful. It's absolutely insane how much like recovery really, helped me out. It's a huge part of snowboarding that I didn't even put any time into at all. And I'm so glad that I centered a whole season around it, because now I'm so much more of a better snowboarder. I do want to talk about a little bit more about recovery in the form of food. I'm going to keep this brief because I didn't pay a whole big span of attention to it. In fact, my nutrition went downhill last season. But I did learn more about it, and I did understand more about it at the end of my season. I would kind of sit there and like, why am I not becoming stronger with my snowboarding? Like, why do I feel weaker on the hill nowadays? You're there, sending it every day, and you want to get better and better. And if you feel worse and worse on the hill, it's a big problem. So I definitely wanted to go ahead and try and fix that. And what I found out was that my eating was off. I was eating less than ever. I mean, I lost a lot of weight. I was 190 last year, and I'm now 170 this year. So it was a huge weight loss that I endured. And honestly, I learned that I was, burning way too many calories and not eating enough, like anything. Like, all I was eating was, like I go home or I go out with some buddies and I have like a burger or tacos or, whatever it would be. And honestly, I should have been having like food throughout the day instead of just eating like once or twice throughout the day. Other than a Red Bull and, maybe like a burger after work or lunch during work, some fries. I mean, I wasn't eating that much. I was really, suffering with the kind of like strength loss that I felt. And I really didn't feel like I was, making any progress in my snowboarding. I mean, other than like the technical stuff. But, I wasn't becoming any stronger. I wasn't being able to last longer on the hill. I was kind of hitting this point where I was going downhill and then I plateaued. I was like, wow, what's going on? Oh my God, the sun's coming out. It's going to burn my eyes. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I learned. I needed to be eating more protein throughout the day. I needed to be having, more nutritious meals, having more vitamins and all that. Obviously not cutting too far down on the carbs because that's, the energy that I needed throughout the day. I really think nutrition is something that everyone should look into individually. Obviously, I'm going to be different as a 170-pound dude than some, like 140-pound woman or something like that. I mean, it's just a whole different ball game that you need to look into yourself. You need to do your own research, and you need to just educate yourself on that kind of stuff. I did, and this season I'm going to go into snowboarding with a whole different mindset on my nutrition. But also I'm going to be doing like a whole different thing. It's not going to be recovery anymore. Like last season was a season of recovery, and I'm going to learn from it, and whatever I took into it, or I took out of it, I'm going to put into this next season. Obviously, I'm going to be stretching as much as I can. Obviously, I'm going to be, doing the 2-week shred program before I go in. But also, I want to add a whole different thing to my snowboarding. So I also wanted to talk about what I did throughout the season. I realized I didn't really expound on that a bit. This whole last season, I was so focused on recovery. And what I mean by that was I was going home and I was rolling out on the foam roller and I was, stretching it out. And I was really getting into this mindset of I just put my body through a whole 7 hours of work. I shoveled snow in the morning. I went and I taught classes. I went and either ate some food and went snowboarding, or I just skipped the meal entirely and went snowboarding. In the later halves of the season, I was taking photos the entire time, doing photography. And at the end of the day, I'm either snowboarding some more or I'm hanging out with friends and doing whatever else. And then I go home and then I recover. I go ahead and I stretch. If I'm going home to my parents' house, I'm hitting the hot tub. If I'm doing whatever else, I'm stretching and I'm recovering, and then I'm going back the next day and repeating. Obviously, there are off days where I am taking it easy. I'm not going out and working out because honestly, my body doesn't need that. It needed just to chill and relax and take its time. I'm getting adequate amount of sleep. Before last season, I would go through a session, go home, and sleep. And that was it. Like, I wasn't going to go ahead and stretch. I wasn't going to go ahead and loosen up, all that stuff. No, my whole body was so stiff and I didn't even feel it. As a kid, you don't know that kind of feeling if you're not always stretching out and getting your body ready for the next part. And I think that's huge. Like, I wouldn't even know the difference between what I was when I was warmed up or not, which is another part of your day that you should get done, is warming up and getting everything smooth and ready to go. But yeah. Anyways, that was pretty much the entire last season, kind of summed up really quickly. Definitely recommend you go check out Mobility Duo and see what kind of information you can get from them. I got a lot of my information through them, not any of the nutrition stuff. I don't believe I got any of the sleep stuff from them. I got that from other sources. And it's just like, look up, what I need to do to help my body recover kind of deal. Anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next video where I'm talking about this whole next season. I know it's a little steep and it's not kind of what the vibe that I was giving off my first video was, but hopefully we'll go back on that track of teaching, which is where my strength lies. And yeah, you guys have a good day. I think that should be the thing. Just an excuse. These videos are an excuse for me to drink Red Bull, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. I will never stop doing YouTube if that's the case.